I'm a little ahead of myself from where I should have been when I started. Anyways, this is my 96 Ford Expedition. It's got the Triton 5.4 liter V8, and yesterday I had a code light come on inside, a little check engine light, plugged in my code reader, and it gave me the code 0171 and 0174, which is saying that the bank is running lean or whatever. Anyways, I googled some information on those codes, and one of the quick and easy fixes talked about the sensor after the air filter, MAF. You know, have fun googling that, what it stands for, because I can't remember it right off. So after a little bit of googling, I found out where mine might be. So this part here came right after where the air filter goes in here. Right now the air filter is out. This latch was latched around here, which also connected that. So try to keep it in focus here. So it's in there. I loosened up that little bolt, popped the thing out. It's got this plug, so it takes a little bit of work to get it out of there. Be careful with that plug because it's inside this housing. It's hard plastic housing houses this entire thing. So this thing's in there at all these spots. You can stick your little screwdriver in, push down those little tabs. Not difficult. Now, in there you see right square in the middle, two little wires running across. Now that's part of that sensor, and apparently if that sensor gets dirty, it reads incorrectly, because those little wires in there, if I can get them back in the sunlight, they heat up, and as the air runs across them, they cool down. And depending on how fast or how slow they cool down after they're heated up, tells the computer in your car a whole lot of information. So I disconnected these wires down low. They have this little safety feature in here, so I put a flathead screwdriver, pushed down on it because it was kind of tight to reach in there. And what I have now is this entire piece out of that housing right there. And what I want is this black sensor portion up here. Now, if I can zoom in and focus, they have these frustrating little Torx wrenches with that center nub. And what that generally means is you need a specialty tool. Well, let's see if we can do this without the specialty tool. Okay, so I've moved into the shop here, and there's another YouTube video of a guy who's using these little needle nose locking pliers. Well, they seem to work all right for him, so I'm going to give this a shot, but I'm going to do my best to keep my stuff here in focus, because it frustrates me when I'm watching a video, excuse me, that popped loose, and the item is out of focus. Okay, you see it's loosened up there. From that point, we could get like a small flathead screwdriver or something. Let's see what I can find. Okay, I went and found really small flathead screwdriver. Let's get in close. Focus. See if I can make this happen. Where you at? Okay, try. I'll do my best to keep my fingers out of the way. Yep. Okay. So you've seen it on one. I'm going to go ahead and do it on the other side. Okay, I've run into a little frustration and I wanted to share it. This side that I just did, easy side. This side over here, not so easy. Notice that this had a lot of space where I could grip in. Bring it up. This one, not so much space. And my space is hampered by this big disc on here. Well, I grabbed a quick socket wrench, pulled off the thing on that nut on that side, pulling off the nut on this side. Neat little tidbit of information. Both these were 10 millimeters. Okay, off with that. It should give me a little more space to work with, but I'm probably going to need both hands. So I'm going to do my best to fiddle with this. I'm worried that if I were to stick my small screwdriver in there while it's tight and really wrench on it, I'm going to twist up and bend this thing and damage my small screwdriver. Yeah. Okay, good news. Removing this big ring on the outside gave me just a little bit more space and leverage and torque for those pliers right there, and I was able to finally pop it loose. So then I can stick this in. There. So what I have here, I'm just going to pull it right on out. Now, focus please. I have, no, focus. These two wires. Now if I can spin this around, they don't look nearly as grubby as the ones on the other video. That first one, oops, sorry. How close can I get it? Let me move to brighter light. Okay, my apologies, but I think this is about the best I can do. Now, I don't know if it's showing up, but on this front wire right there, there is some buildup of dirt. I'm trying, maybe you can see it on the front. There's some buildup of dirt. So what I'm going to do is get some cleaner, and I'm going to clean these. The other video I saw a guy doing a Ford Ranger. Same idea. This is actually the same part. It was just a little bit different location on the Ford Ranger. Focus, focus. He used paint thinner. I don't have paint thinner, I have acetone. And then he cleaned off any petroleum-based product with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, or the other type. Specifically showed it was not margarita alcohol, haha. So we're gonna clean these wires. Okay, interesting little side thing. I'm going to do it with brake cleaner, brake parts cleaner. Clean this, but guess what? Nothing. So I'm going to pour a little bit of this stuff in here. It's an old can. It doesn't hurt me to use it up. The reason I'm doing this first, because on Google there is a lot of things that a 0171 and 0174 code could mean, is because I have all the stuff on hand to do this. And of course, like many people, money's a little tight. So the fellow who did his Ford Ranger one used Q-tip. He also soaked overnight his parts. I have not, so I don't know if that's going to cause a problem. But I liked that he used a Q-tip because he did say that, you know, the items here really aren't designed to have much more than air blown across them, so you got to be really careful. Now I'm turning my Q-tip as I do this. Notice those black specks on the Q-tip. That's right, it's dirty. So just be really gentle, and I'm not going to make you watch me sit here and clean this. You not got an idea what I'm doing. So here we see the front of these elements, and nice, shiny, no longer caked with some crud. So I'm going to reinstall. Now, yes, be gentle, because you want this to slide in there gently. And if you forget which way to put it on, well, you've got the outside little divvy out, and if you're watching this, you know what you're doing. Just need a little show and tell. Okay, let's put the screws back in. Now, again, using this small screwdriver, I started it with my fingers so I won't cross thread it. Give it a little snug. Give it a little snug. And then I'm going to need two hands for this lower side. But this top one here, if I can use my wrist and refocus, just use this to tighten it back down until it's snug. So I'm going to ensure that that one's snug, tighten this one up with both hands, and okay, we're back out to the truck, and I wanted to be sure when I put this back in, I've got this part here, that's where the plug's going to come through and plug into that part there. This fits right in the middle, so I have to remember that I took this part off. Now I've got 4 bolts, and I see that 2 of them across from each other are rubbed shiny, so that gives me a clue as to where these came off. But if I'm not careful, I could wind up bolting it in place like this. And if I do that, it won't go back together right, because right over here, ooh, don't run away, is a notch. Now if that notch doesn't go through that slot, you're not going to be able to put it back together right. So that's why I brought it over here, because invariably when I take things apart and put them back together, I could wind up putting it back together exactly opposite, which is frustrating. So using that notch, this placement, that notch, this placement of where that's facing down, now I've got this part facing down, I can slide that into place and it'll go back in there when I put these 10mm bolts back on. Yes, 10mm bolts on a Ford. Welcome to our new America. Alright, let me use 2 hands to snug those down. Now before I put everything together, something you may or may not have noticed, the inside of this cylinder was dirty. So I just took it in to my shower and washed it out with water. Didn't use any soap, so I don't have any weird residue stuff in there. But that also means it's a little wet right now. So I am not, at this specific second, going to slam this thing right in there. I'm going to let this dry a moment, and that'll give me time to run to the quick auto parts store, because here's the air filter that came out. Not only is it a little dirty, it's broken. So it's not doing its job. So this gives me the opportunity to run to the store, replace that, and that'll dry out by the time I get back. I gave it a little wipe out with some non-lint cloth, and I also wiped out the interior of this. Obviously, if this is that dirty, if that was that dirty and that's broken, I've got a lot of particles that are swimming around in this airstream. Not a good thing. So, okay, I went to the auto parts store, got a brand new air filter. We'll put that in a second. Looks a lot better than the last one. My case is all dried out, and I got a little ahead of myself, got a little excited, and already plugged this back in. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, get this all put back together, lined up with that lock, and lock it back into place. Short, sweet, and simple. Once you do that, you're gonna put it back together like that, but let's first get the air filter in place. Take that. I cleaned out the inside, as I said, so I'm just gonna slide the air filter, just kind of snug it in there. That feels a lot better than the last one did. And let's see if I can gentle this into place. I may need both hands. I apologize if I do. Yeah. Okay, I did need both hands. And so I got this side inserted there. It's not tightened down yet. This side here, just make sure that this notch and this slot line up. Spin it if you have to. And let's put this thing back in place. Come on. And I need both hands. Okay, again, locked it into place. We're good. It's spot on. So, quick little. Now this nut here was just a little 3/8. So let's tighten it back up. And it doesn't need to go on there really hard. I've actually broken these by thinking I can just torque it just a little more. It's just a snug thing. It's on there good. That is that. That job is done.